Yeah, fuck that. There we go. That's better. That's much better. Much better, baby. There we go. You, my friend, are a warrior. What up, y'all? Coronavirus is still a thing. Make sure that you're practicing physical distancing. Make sure you wear a mask that covers the mouth and the nose. Condolences to the folks who passed during this time. Our prayers are with you and your family. If you're sick, hope you're on the road to recovery and doing better. House EP. House is myself and Kaylin Ellis, featuring Virgil Abloh, Crystal Torres, and Graham Burris. It's available right now on Tidal Music. So go get that. Showing some love to Tidal today. Questions, comments, concerns, you can put them in the question box. It's probably one of the longest running lives since the beginning of this pandiesel. I've been staying put, hanging out at the crib, creating things, working on stuff, perfecting my crafts, building my crafts, etc. Welcome. We talk a lot of stuff here. We engage any question at any level with anybody, with any point of view. Not afraid to give you the hard answers. And also, if you want to troll, you can troll. It's fine. We handle with trolls too. So what are we talking about? Any questions? Let's talk about Kanye. Talk about Ye. We can. I'm with it. Me and Kanye go way back, very far. I'm not a part of his original crew. I'm not a part of any original crew from Chicago except my crew, 1500s, and the Pack, which was the group I was in high school, and still my boys, and the homies I was signed to with Epic when I had my first record deal in like 99 or 2000. So those are the dudes originally that I came up with in Chicago. Everybody else in Chicago I did not know. I didn't meet people until later into my career. But on my way up through my career, one of those people that I actually did meet was Kanye. We worked on some joints. He was making beats, but he was already kind of in and out of his situation. So when I say me and Kanye go way back, we go way back from an industry standpoint. That's under the terms in which we met. We didn't meet at a picnic or some shit like that. We weren't boys. We weren't homies. You know? But he's always been Kanye. He's always been that dude to call you in the middle of the night and be like, yo, what do you think about this verse? And he was honest about that shit. You know? And I always respected Kanye because of that. Kanye was also the guy that he was a super hard worker. Like, if he seen, was like, yo, can you chop up the sample for me? And if you fuck with that sample, he'll chop that shit up right there. If it was an MPC to be done, he would take that shit, loop it, pull it. I've watched this nigga do it and make a beat in like 15 minutes. Right? So always respected him as a producer and an artist. Was able to go on tour with this nigga mad times. Had to pay to go, but I mean, that's part of the program, right? It is what it is. Did Touch the Sky with this dude. Didn't want to do Touch the Sky with this dude. But it was the greatest decision, my one of the best decisions that my manager at Chill ever made, because I was dead set on not doing that shit. And just watched him, go through his shit, man. Was just seeing him do all kinds of shit. Seeing him exceed limitations, seeing him come back and do shit. When people said that he couldn't do it, it was unable. Seeing that nigga rock and go. And I think he did it because of his hard work. I remember his first album was fucking crazy. Like, not whatever what's the name of his first album? College Dropout? Not that shit. He had an album before that he was going around shopping when he was in New York. And that shit was absolutely fire. And I think he had some of the joints he was giving the beats. I think Lil Kim got some of the beats or some shit like that. But he had his first album, like his demo tape. And I don't know if he had tapes before that where he was doing what's their name? He had a group with Shayla G. Who else was in that shit? I forgot the name of Kanye's first group. Showstoppers? Shit, I don't fucking know. So I don't know if that was his first thing, but the first kind of cohesive project that I heard from him was like a demo tape that he was shopping around. He was riding around New York playing that shit. That shit was absolutely fucking crazy. So yeah, man. A lot of people don't understand that. They're like, oh man, if it wasn't for Kanye, you wouldn't have a career. Like I had a career before Kanye. I had record deals before Kanye. I was one of the first niggas in the city, the go-getters, yeah. I was one of the first niggas in the city with a label deal, me and Chill. Wasn't one of the first niggas in the city with a deal because everybody in the city had deals. That shit wasn't like nothing new. Psychodrama had a deal. Crucial Conflict had a deal. Twista had a deal. Niggas had deals. And I was in one of those people in the long lines of artists coming out of Chicago that got deals. So we had a deal. I got my first deal in 2000. Okay. I didn't meet Kanye until 2003, 4, some shit like that. And had my own relationships with people with Jay in New York and LA and all these niggas. So First 15 was rocking. Don't get it fucked up. And when we did Touch the Sky, we had Kick Push sitting. Right? Kick Push was already like done. And I remember when we did the video for Touch the Sky, we put out Kick Push 2 weeks later. You know? So it was like niggas already had the tapes, niggas was already rocking and rolling. And it was just a part of an extra boost. On the flip side of that, what niggas didn't see was on the other side, on the industry side of shit, the non-public side of shit, everybody was helping Kanye. Everybody. Well, not everybody, but it was a bunch of motherfuckers helping Kanye, right? Which is, I think, something that doesn't get told a lot. Whether it was niggas writing his raps, niggas helping him with music, niggas helping him with deals, all kinds of shit. So Kanye is a product of a bunch of niggas. Everybody in the city has helped everybody else. So when Kanye say I put niggas on in the city, niggas is like, yeah, but niggas the one who got you that meeting to go do that deal with such and such. Even though you didn't get the deal, niggas set up the meeting for you. So I don't want y'all to get it confused. Like when niggas let Kanye rock because they got high levels of respect for dude, and he'll give you his all. Don't get it fucked up. Kanye is a very generous person. He's a very solid dude in that respect. But Kanye is also a fucking Gemini, and the nigga's bipolar. So, and as much as niggas think like, oh, he did this, there's tons of niggas in the city that can point to what they did for Kanye. And every little piece counts, right? If niggas gonna say, oh, you know, Touch the Sky, if it wasn't for Touch the Sky for this, but it's like, well, what about Kick Push? What about Fahrenheit 115? What about when Jay brought me out on stage in Chicago? What about when I was supposed to sign a Rockefeller? What about when I started my own company? What about when I was signed when I was fucking 18 or 19 when I was to a major record company? What about when I was performing for Tommy Boy? None of them niggas was there. So you gotta take it into a certain level of consideration when niggas have a certain level of respect for Kanye, but we don't look at this nigga how y'all look at this nigga, like he's God or some shit like that. We don't. And we also know that as much as at least me, and I do this wherever I go, as much as a nigga say he can do for me, I can turn around and say I can't say I did as much as Kanye did for me, but at the same time too, I paid to go on tour with Kanye. I had to reach into my pocket and pay to go on the road for this nigga. So it wasn't like out of the kindness of this nigga's heart to rock and do that shit, right? Same thing with Pharrell. You pay for them beats. Niggas just don't give you the shit for free. You got to pay for that shit, right? So, and Pharrell charges $135,000 for a fucking track. So yeah, that's my homie. But when it comes to this business shit, it ain't like niggas is just giving you shit out of the kindness of their heart. That's not how this shit works. So I just want to establish that before we get into some of this talking about that shit, okay? So, and for niggas think, oh, you just hating and this nigga did this, nigga did that. Like, listen, man, here's the real deal. This is why you see that shit, because niggas had to pay for that shit, right? Or niggas had to do this for that shit. And it's not anything I got niggas who around me who be like, man, let me go on tour with you, but pay me. The fuck? Nigga, and I'll tell them, nigga, I had to pay to go on tour. What the fuck you talking about? Like you finna move the needle on selling some tickets. The fuck out my face. And these are my homies, and they'll tell you. Because the same way I talk to y'all, I talk to these niggas. Try and keep it even. So, Ye's bipolar, man. You know, that's just what that is. Dude has seen all kinds of shit in this world, right? And he's experienced some shit that the average person isn't going to. Now, he's not alone in that because there's tons of us who've seen all kinds of shit. I've seen all kinds of shit in this world. Crazy shit. Experience all type of super rich, phenomenal, wild shit, money shit, fashion, fame, fortune. You sit next to, you getting invited over to niggas' cribs, and these motherfuckers got all kinds of shit in the house. Shit that you wouldn't even believe was possible. They got the shit, right? Motherfuckers offering you all kinds of shit. You eating the best food ever. It's the only one. We kill one of these every 6 years, and we gave you a burger made out of this shit. Like, all kinds of shit happen behind the scenes. And even for a normal motherfucker, a normal balanced motherfucker, it's enough to drive a nigga crazy. That's why you got a lot of niggas walking around the industry, whether it be actors, actresses, niggas who do plays on Broadway, anybody on the entertainment scene, poets. They get access, artists, painters, dancers. These niggas get access to a side of life, the patrons, the rich motherfuckers, and the parties and the houses, and the nigga who own the shit in the Elon Musk house and da-da-da. These niggas get invited to shit that they experience, and it drives them fucking crazy. Right? It drives them absolutely crazy. And that's a normal person. Like a normal motherfucker. Right? Like a normal person. Like a regular, average person. You put somebody in there who has a little bit of a idiosyncrasy, a little bit of a mental health issue, a little bit of such and such. Nigga, they already crazy going into the shit. And sometimes those environments, they reinforce. The nigga who house they going to is fucking crazy. Because he used to be normal one time until this nigga made his first 30 million. Right? And then he realized all the pussy he was chasing, now he got 30 naked prostitutes in the house. Right? And he just don't know what to do with himself no more. Or herself. Because the bitch might be crazy. Right? She crazy. She got 8 Lamborghinis and 16 gold dishes and all kinds of wild shit and 8 Panthers in the yard. And these niggas they be a little off. And they'll reinforce that behavior because they feel like that the behavior that got them to where they are is their own shit, their own craziness, right? Their own ability to be a little bit off center, not realizing that it's a bunch of other non-crazy motherfuckers who helped get you there. And you didn't get here on your own. Right? I didn't do shit on my own. Lupe didn't do shit on my own. Right? The only thing that I did was write them raps. But it took me trying to be like Jay-Z, trying to be like Biggie Smalls, trying to be like Mos Def, trying to be like Nas, trying to be like Chino XL, trying to be like Cannabis, trying to be... It's a range of motherfuckers who can, if they wanted to, can come in and take credit. Like, nigga, that's me. And you're right. You're 100% right, nigga. That's you. When Nas sat down and I was sitting with Nas in the studio and that nigga's played King Nas, I was like... He looking at me like, nigga, what? I'm looking like, nigga, that's you. That ain't me. That's you, nigga. Half man, half a baby. Nigga, that's you. What the fuck you talking about? Right? I didn't get here on my own. Right? I would have never done Touch the Sky. I didn't do that. Somebody else did that. I just happened to write the verse. Why am I saying that? Because niggas who get around niggas who feel like that they did that shit by themselves, it reinforces their behavior. Versus, no, it's your secretary and your assistant and your manager and the niggas who did the shit and the dude who mixes the thing and the dude, it's a team effort. But none of these niggas is around you to keep you contained. Chino XLIT. To keep you contained. To remind you that, nigga, you didn't do this, ain't just you and your craziness. and your weirdness and your off the centerness that got you here. It's all of the other shit around. And when you start reaching these levels with the niggas who got them cribs, they don't want your friends to come. Nah, don't bring your homies. Only 2 of y'all can come. Only 3 of y'all can come. You just come, but can I bring my homie? Man, we ain't really got that much room, we worried about other people, because they look at you like, oh no, you the cream of the crop. Now you can come fuck with us. And what you do when you walk into those worlds, you leave all the niggas who keep you sane behind. Now it's just a bunch of crazy niggas in the room who feel like they did all this shit by themselves. The funky part is niggas look at Elon Musk and go crazy. I look at Elon Musk and see a regular ass nigga, and I've met this nigga. Because when I met him with all of the scientists who actually build his shit. Like, know these niggas. This Russian rocket scientist who plays the bass, who can fly jets. This is the nigga who's building the SpaceX rocket. This nigga over here is the motherfucker who writes the algorithms. That motherfucker right there is the dude who actually gives this nigga the money to do this shit. This is the motherfucker. And when you meet the whole team, you like, this nigga just the nigga. He just a charismatic motherfucker to go out and be the face of this. But it's really your thousands of employees who build all this shit. Right? And I give Elon Musk the props because when he does do his, like when he did this shit for Neuralink, he had everybody there. Niggas, y'all didn't give a fuck about nobody in that room except Elon Musk. That's it. You didn't give a fuck about the scientist nigga who was like, I already do implants. Niggas ain't hear that shit. They just hear Elon Musk is the man and he's crazy. But you don't hear like, no, I'm the doctor. I'm sitting here in the doctor's scrub. This is what I do. I put implant. I've been doing this shit. Oh, and I'm the guy who I'm the guy who makes the materials. I'm the dude who writes the code. I'm the dude who does the software. I'm the bitch who keep the pigs happy. I'm the nigga who does da-da-da-da. And it's the team. But what you walk away with? You just walk away with Elon Musk put on a press conference. Elon ain't do none of that shit. Elon don't know how to put implants in a nigga head. Right? Why I'm saying that is that you have to maintain the team that brought you into this shit. Once you lose the niggas who kept you grounded coming into this shit, you will fucking go all the way crazy. And if you're already like actually chemically imbalanced, not only is your behavior going to get reinforced because you got a bunch of niggas who just want to make money off of you. Not only is it going to get reinforced, you're going to get worse because now you rationalize it as a good thing, right? Like this crazy shit is good. And it's cool because I got a bunch of other crazy motherfuckers around me. And we actually think that entrepreneurialism and success is based off of niggas being crazy. Right? And the niggas who would be around to keep you sane, you don't fuck with these niggas no more because they not sexy. They ain't had shit to do with that shit, the hate shit, the bullshit. And then you get replaced with niggas who crazy. Now you run around with a bunch of crazy motherfuckers. Filthy rich can do whatever you want. There's no limitations on cost. You can buy whatever you want. Niggas like you shouldn't have a tank because that motherfucker's going to sell it to you. Like, why you want a tank? Like, you don't need a tank. You're crazy. No, nigga, you don't need to be living in the middle of nowhere around a bunch of other crazy motherfuckers. You need to be living in a city next to real people. Right? Driving down real streets to see the struggle of people every day who ain't got shit, who still ride the bus, who got $100 a month and trying to figure that shit out after they pay all their bills. You need to be around that. You can't just be stuck in some big ass house in the middle of fucking nowhere or around a bunch of other crazy motherfuckers. Right? And expect that when you come out and try and speak back to these niggas who you can't even, you don't even know who the fuck you talking to anymore. And you trying to just talk to niggas with all your crazy shit, you gonna look wild. And that's what Kanye looks like right now. And I don't pull punches with niggas who don't pull punches. Right? Niggas who put themselves in the public space and try and throw shots and do goofy shit, I don't pull punches with niggas like that. I don't give a fuck if I know you, if I don't know you. If you put yourself in that position, normally I don't talk about niggas I don't know. Most of everybody you hear me ever speak on or have advice, I know these niggas to a certain degree. And I know what they about. And I know what's missing. I know what's flawed in their programs, right? And I know what's missing and flawed in my program. And I know when, and it's certain things that I don't talk about. And if a nigga want to try and dress me down, they can. 100%. I'll dress myself down in front of a motherfucker and let you know, like, nigga, I'm not rich like that. I done lost many cases, right? Many lawsuits and extra shit, nigga. I'm not balling like that. But I'm good. Don't get it fucked up. But I don't even care. Because, nigga, if I need to go work at Walmart, I would do that. Because I'm still connected to the world like that. I don't give a fuck what a nigga think. What a bitch got to say. Right? You have to ground yourself in reality. You need niggas around you that you respect or that you're afraid of that will fucking chin check you when you get out of pocket. If you just got a bunch of niggas around you who just want to make money off of you and see you as a thing, that's what the fuck you gonna be. And they gonna reinforce all that negative behavior and bullshit. And yeah, you need to move out the hood because these niggas are trying to kill you. Them niggas who was trying to kill you was keeping you in check. Now you running around this motherfucker like you absolutely crazy. Niggas putting bottles and bullshit upside your head to keep you in check. Nigga, this ain't real life. If you want to just go live in that world, go live in that world 100%. I know billionaires that just live in a bubble. These niggas got Picasso tables. Like, you walk in their house, the shit's wild. Nigga, yeah, you know, that chair right there, which nobody ever sits in, that's like King Louis' chair, and we just use that to sit the table on top of the chair with the fucking statue on top of that because that's just how we rolling. Like the shit's IKEA furniture to them. But they in they bubble. They got a movie theater at their house. They in they fucking bubble. They get the movies before they come out, right? Niggas will come to their house to screen a movie for the rest of the billionaire niggas. The shit's wild. And they live in that bubble. They know they don't send their kids to regular school. They build a school, send their kids to the school. It don't even matter if niggas show up to the school or not. Because the school is really for their kids. I know niggas like this. It's fucking wild, right? But they in a bubble. They in a bubble. And that's where the fuck they stay. The moment that they try and come out and do regular shit with regular people, niggas look at them like they crazy. When they see regular people talking about, man, should I buy this? Damn, this chicken fried rice is like $14. Like, fuck, should I pay for that? Or should I go, fuck. I'm going to just get a small chicken fried rice and then get a such and such. Niggas like, what are you talking about? We'll take everything on the menu. Like, niggas like that. And look at you like you crazy. Like, nigga, you over here tripping over $15? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, nigga, buy this whole motherfucking thing. I got $700,000 in my pocket right now. Like, what are we doing? Niggas like that. Right? So, you have got to assess your position in the world and in life and the shit that you want to do. And if you're in a position where you've removed all of the niggas who keep you like you were when you came into this bitch, and everybody leveled up around you, niggas is gonna go crazy. And not just niggas who made it. Regular niggas, regular women, just regular motherfuckers who just get a little taste of the fame and they get their first show and they sell their first 10,000 records or hear their first song on the radio. And that moment, in that moment, they get their first check that has 5 zeros on it. Or 5 digits. Right? Or fucking 4 digits. You get your first check that has 4 digits after the decimal. 00 decimal, then 4 digits. Niggas see that first check, they ain't never seen no shit like that in their life. Niggas go crazy. Off $4,000. $5,000, $10,000. Niggas lose their whole shit. They become what they were always trying to become. And they not honest with themselves. And they go try and become what they become. And the nigga come back with Balenciaga shoes and the Mary jeans. And now he the man. Now he can't go here. We can't be seen here. We can't drive around like this. Now we need to do this because we need to keep up this thing and keep up this thing. And it's like, man, fuck all that shit, man. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Who are we trying to impress? Who? Broke niggas? You go to the hood with that shit and they gonna rob you. Who you trying? Rich niggas? You go to a rich nigga, he looking like, I made that. I invest in a company that makes that shit. Yeah, I invest in fucking BXF fucking materials corporation, some shit you never even heard of. Like, yes, we supply all of the raw materials for every sportswear agency in the world. That's what we do. So you can buy as much of this collaborative Adidas blah 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 as you want. Like, I own stock in the company that gives them the shit. What am I supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to be impressed? My kids love it, right? But I walk around in some fucking a pair of pants that I sewn together myself. Who we impressing? Who is the goal? What's the goal of this shit? Hoes? Nigga, you could pay for pussy. The best top flight bitches in the world are prostitutes. The finest, most luxurious pussy, the best titties and the prettiest faces in the world are prostitutes. And you can pay for that shit all day. And niggas pay for that shit all day. Period. So, is that? Are you trying to get the finest bitch in the world? The finest bitch in the world is some Eastern European prostitute. You can pay her fucking $30 to suck your dick and the horse's dick and be butt naked around the house for 6 months. What are we talking about? That's the shit that niggas don't be understanding about this game. And it ain't just the game of music game. It's the money game. It's the fame game. It's the influence game. It's all this bullshit that these niggas trying to sell you and thinking that shit is the shit. Well, because we can go ahead and pay $1,000 for some sushi. This is what we doing. We finna sit here and pay $3,500 for some fucking sushi. Is this what we doing? This is what we doing, right? We finna do this shit every night. This is what niggas is about. This is what we supposed to be doing. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Right? This is just my little rant, right? Rolexes are garbage. I understand that this Rolex company, I appreciate the watches that y'all make. I understand that y'all a great company and all this other old shit, but bro, y'all watches are fucking garbage. But it don't matter. Why you saying watches garbage? You talking from a nigga who's had them. I've had Rolexes since I was 19. Every single one of them bitches broke. Right? The goal ain't to make a great watch. The goal is to make a watch that constantly needs to be maintained. Right? And you need to get it maintained at the factory dealer. Because if you send it to these niggas up the street, you're going to lose your warranty. Shit's garbage. Ferraris are garbage. They're garbage. This is from a guy who had a Ferrari deal on the table until I fucking called Obama a terrorist. Then I lost all that shit. But this shit's garbage. How do I know? Because nigga, I had 4 of them. I'm obsessed with the shits. I still want an F40. And I know that shit is trash. Because it's not about whether it's trash or not to me. I just love the story. I love Enzo's story. And how do I know it's trash? Because Enzo told you niggas it was trash. When he first made them shits, he didn't even give a fuck about cars. He didn't give a fuck about selling cars. The nigga just wanted to race. I just want to race. And if selling cars to these rich motherfuckers, selling them shitty cars, because all they care about is brands and flossing in front of bitches and pulling up in front of Monte Carlo with the fanciest, the most expensive car, even though it's dog shit of a car. Cool. If that means they finna pay me so I can fund my race team, that's all I give a fuck about that. Then that's the honest truth. That's all that nigga cared about. Racing cars. He didn't give a fuck about none of this shit. So put a tractor wheel in that bitch. I don't care. Fuck him. Right? To the point where the maintenance on Ferraris, that's how they make their money. Nigga, my 575 wouldn't come out of first gear. Had to tow that bitch to the Ferrari dealer. Man, that dude sent me, he was like, look, he's like, oh, it's just a software malfunction. You know, we can reboot it. But he's like, look, if that shit was actually something wrong with one of the pumps, one of the pressure pumps in the paddle switches, that shit would have been $50,000. No games. 50 racks to fix this bitch. Just this little paddle shifter transmission shit, 50,000. I sold that shit the next day. I put that bitch up for sale like literally the next day. I'm keeping it a whole buck. I was like, I'm out of this. This shit's a game. And it's like, it is a game. Once you realize these niggas is gaming you, like, come on, man. But this is the shit we live and die, kill niggas in the hood, sell dope for, do all this shit to get this shit. And it's really just a scam to the point where Ferrari in Italy, only in Italy though. Ferrari in Italy had how you know about all this shit? Nigga, because I was a part of the whole club. I was the team. I got the hats. I got the whole shit. Right? Going to dealerships all around the world, part of their driver programs, and I can pick any Ferrari I want and drive the shit around and do all kinds of shit, nigga. I'm not just speaking out my ass on some hate shit, nigga. This is y'all shit. Nigga said in Italy, there's a program that Ferraris that are 25 years old, up to a certain point, the maintenance is free for life. Because the cars are so garbage prior to a certain date. When niggas thought Ferrari was selling cars. Ferrari was selling maintenance. And niggas couldn't understand that shit. They're selling maintenance. They're not selling a car. They're selling something that they can constantly work on forever. 360 Spiders, garbage. 430s, trash. Right? To the point that when they finally got around to and this is literally when they made the what's that shit? The 454, whatever the fuck that shit was. This shit had an 8-year warranty. The only reason they had an 8-year warranty on the car is because they finally started to build cars that actually weren't trash. And that customers were demanding. Like, y'all not finna keep doing this shit. Rich niggas. The 458, yeah. Y'all not finna keep doing this shit to us. We know we rich. Now y'all niggas is rich. We all rich. We finna get in this room. We finna keep it a buck. Y'all not finna keep doing this shit. So either make these motherfucking cars or we finna go buy these McLarens. Or we finna go buy this other shit. We finna go buy these Lambos. Because whatever the fuck you niggas is doing, we ain't finna keep having this shit. That's what I did. Like, fuck these cars. I'm out. Straight. Y'all can have all this shit. I'm out. You're not finna keep selling me maintenance. Right? To the point, it's a program in Italy right now, only in Italy though, where if you have a Ferrari of a certain age, they'll fix it for free for life because the shit is so trash. And there's no way for you to fix the car. There's no way for you to fix the car. It's Ferrari, and I'm just using Ferrari as an example. I know I'm riffing, but this is all ties into this whole situation. It's mechanics in LA right now that a Ferrari of a certain age, they will not work on it. I don't give no fuck how much money you paid them. They're not going to work on your car. There's car dealerships in LA that will not sell Ferraris below a certain age. Any Ferrari from the 90s, they not touching that shit. The 80s, it has to be some old shit. But anything from the 80s, the 90s, the early thousands, they not even selling that shit. They like, we straight. We cool. That is what niggas get sold. That's what niggas is running after. And then they give it to you and present it to us like this shit is the shit. Like, this is where you need to be. This is where you made it. Right? Like, yeah, just wait. It's about wasting money. Like, just spend money on whatever the fuck. Like, buy a bunch of bullshit you don't need because that's what it means to be rich. Because that's what niggas think. That being rich is buying shit that you don't need. That's what niggas think. So, I love Ye. I got high respect for Ye as an artist. I still think he's one of the greatest artists of all time. Artist. Do I think he's the best rapper? Fuck no. Do I think he makes the best beats? Fuck no. But I think it doesn't matter because the nigga will take whatever the fuck it is. The weakest beat, the wackest rap, the dumbest looking clothes, the stupidest whatever the fuck, and he will turn that shit into solid gold. And I've seen the nigga do it with thine own eyes. And I've always respected and loved that nigga for that. All this other shit though, this Donald Trump shit, this slavery shit, this Harriet Tubman shit, I don't fuck with that. But I know that it's because this nigga is on this Gemini bipolar shit. And it's the other side of Ye, which I fucking despise. Love the other side of you, my G. Always have, always will. And there's no way to separate it. So I have to just love it in its totality and just keep it out the space. But on behalf of all the real niggas who grew up with you in terms of this industry shit, have been a part of your growth, and have reciprocated and added value back and forth, my nigga, you fucking wildin'. You enrich the same niggas who niggas will warn niggas about. You gave the power to these niggas. You validated fucking Donald Trump with that shit. We didn't do that. We didn't go out of our way to just be rebellious to the point where we'd pick up any old motherfucking counterpoint and run with that shit. Nigga, that shit not cool. You know what I'm saying? That shit not cool. And as much as you want to get religion and do all this other old extra shit, my G, like, I get that. And I'm with that. And I'm all about I've done some horrible shit. And I'm constantly redeeming myself on a daily basis. But my nigga, that ain't the way to go. Ain't the way to go. When been knowing these niggas was the enemy. Been knowing these niggas ain't had your back. Been knowing the music business was fucked up. Been knowing these niggas was on some bullshit. But these are same niggas that you running behind. Bigging up. Shaking hands. Want to be like. Niggas in the back of the room like this nigga ain't. Why he shaking hands with them fucking devils? Them your people. Now all of a sudden they ain't your people? Come on, man. You know how this shit work. So that's that, man. I hope that he gets better, man. I hope that he get his shit straight, and he lives the life that he wants to lead for his family, man. That's at the end of the day, that's what it is. But the bill of goods that niggas done sold us, that he sold, that all these niggas around us sold, now that it's too late, you done sold us all these chains and diamonds and watches and cars and bullshit that make white people rich. Now all of a sudden, because niggas getting shot by the police, it's a motherfucking problem. Y'all taught us how to do this shit, man. Y'all gassed us up on this shit. Put it in every single motherfucking rap. Made songs about the shit. Sold the shit down niggas' throats. Charged niggas $300 for the shit. That's y'all shit. Now it's a motherfucking problem. Because niggas got woke and enlightened when they realized that these white people really don't give a fuck about you. And I'm part of the problem. I'm one of the first niggas that you ever seen go yard from. Period. I got the bag in the back. For a lot of you people in the world, the first piece of go yard you ever seen was on the neck of motherfucking Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco took a trip to the original go yard store in fucking Paris on Rue Saint Henri with one of the richest niggas in the world. For real, them niggas looked at us like we was coons. Looked at us like we was coons. So I'm part of the program. I'm fucked. I done fucked niggas' heads over too. And it took me to come out the other side and learn. And part of my redemption is telling you niggas on the come up right now. That's making the decision right now. Standing at the doorway of that dealership, standing at the doorway of that community, standing at the doorway of that gated apartment building, standing at the doorway of that motherfucking Nordstrom's, if they even exist anymore. Saks Fifth Avenue, or wherever the fuck you at motherfucking what's the name of that fucking mall in Atlanta? Peachtree Mall, Lenox Square, wherever the fuck it is, Ball Harbor, nigga. Remember, them people don't give a fuck about you. And all that shit you buying is bullshit. Your money's best just sitting. Go invest in some shit. Buy some land. Yeah, do something. Just don't buy shit that you've ever heard in a rap song, ever. Don't buy none of that shit. Anything you've ever heard in a rap song, ever, don't buy none of that shit, because it's all a trap. I don't give no fuck who said it, who wrote it. Jay-Z, Lupe Fiasco, Nas, motherfucking Mos Def, Dead Prez, Atmosphere. Shit, I don't give no fuck. Anything that a nigga mentioned to buy in a rap song, don't buy that shit. Because we was duped and bamboozled too, motherfucker. And now we coming out the other side realizing that, damn. You can buy Bape. Bape is cool. But Nigo don't even own Bape no more. I fuck with Bape because of Nigo. He don't even own that shit no more. Nigo don't even fuck with Bape no more. We fuck with this shit because of fucking Nigo. He don't even fuck with this shit no more. Oh, shit. Damn, man. Them the most facts you gonna hear today. On to the next. Yeah, listen. Gold watch is a whole record of my bull. I accept my shit. I done told niggas to buy bullshit. I bought a gold. Nigga, I bought a motherfucker. This is the other side of the equation. You don't know until you get it. So I'm telling you now, as of now, a grown ass man who've been through the shit. I'm talking to the niggas that's on the precipice of what they finna do with their money, right? And you can throw all this shit back in my face, but I'm throwing it in my own face. Like I said, I'll undress myself in front of niggas. Period. Like a nigga, I'm not afraid of no nigga, because it ain't nothing that a nigga in the world anywhere can do to me that I'm not willing to do to myself in public. Right? Talk about how nappy my hair is, how old I'm getting, how ugly my teeth is chipped. Oh, nigga, I'll do this shit in public. I don't give a fuck. I've wore this shirt for 2 days. Nigga, I don't give a fuck. There's nothing you can do. That's what I'm telling you. You take a song like Gold Watch. Right? Nigga, I was talking about Mont Blanc pens, right? And he's about these $800 pens, $500 pens, whatever. And Chill got me hooked to that shit, right? To keep it a buck, Chill got me hooked to that shit. Don't get me wrong, it's an amazing pen. It writes beautifully. Nigga, I ain't wrote on a piece of paper in fucking I don't know how long. But actually, I did last week. My sister was teaching me Japanese. But anyway, nigga, I bought a Mont Blanc pen at the airport. On some like, oh shit, it's the one with the blue gem in it, and there's the thing, and there's the Blanc pens. Nigga, I bought that shit at the airport. The blue gem fell out first. That shit fell off. Then, when I went to get the shit either repaired or replaced, Mont Blanc was like, oh, we don't accept the shit that niggas buy at the airports. Was like, what? What do you mean? You don't buy shit that niggas, what are you talking about? Like, it's Mont Blanc. It's a Mont Blanc pen. But like, no, you got it at the airport. We don't fuck with that. You had to buy it at a da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like, ain't this some whole ass shit? Another thing about Mont Blancs, Mont Blanc sells you maintenance. Why? Because you got to refill that bitch. Those Mont Blanc refills are expensive. Just don't write forever, my nigga. Like, that shit will run out of ink, and you just can't put any old cartridge in that motherfucker. You have to go get a Mont Blanc cartridge to put back in that bitch. You might be able to get some off-brand shit, maybe, but nigga, what you finna put? You finna put a Camry engine in this fucking Lambo, nigga? No, you're not. Don't get it confused. I'm just warning you. Just warning you, that's all. So as much as I've experienced going through this shit, going through the world of luxury and all that bullshit and buying shit and doing shit and stuff like that, man, at the end of the day, what I will tell you is this. This is just my experience. And then we take Kanye down, because we're not even talking about this nigga no more. If it's something that you love, buy it. Just know that there's two sides to every story. And that eventually the reason why you're buying it, because you love it, and it's some new shit, that's going to wear off. And then you're going to have to live with it. And living with something and loving something are two different fucking things. Right? Living with something and loving something are two different things. The other side of the gold watch equation, right? I don't know anybody at Mont Blanc. No one. I don't know who makes the shit. I don't know the CEO. I just bought it, again, because my man Chill, who's my man, I love him to death. He's a Mont Blanc fanatic. He's a pen fanatic, period. It ain't got to be Mont Blanc. He's just a pen fanatic. And I bought Mont Blancs for this nigga. I think I did. But that's why I got it, because I'm trying to be like a nigga who I admire. Right? But once I got the pen itself, I found out, like, I don't really give a fuck about these pens. Like, I just give a fuck about my relationship to this dude. That's the other side of the story. The other side of all the other shit that's in that song. Somebody just threw up Guilty Brotherhood polos. That's my man. Like, the dude who makes Guilty Brotherhood, he don't make it anymore, who makes Guilty Brotherhood, he's still one of the coldest, illest designers I've ever met. Right? That's my homie. He made shit. I got Guilty Brotherhood shit with silver buttons and all kinds of shit that he made specifically for me for the Glow in the Dark tour. That's my man. So when I talk about a Guilty Brotherhood polo, that's my homeboy. Right? And he just so happens to make ill shit, and it still makes ill shit. So that's the other side. I fuck with it because I fuck with this dude. Ain't got shit to do with the luxury. Nigga, I wasn't even paying for the shit. Right? That's just my man, and a person I respect his craft, right? Same thing with Maharishi. I fuck with Maharishi, but I fuck with Hardy Blackman, the dude who runs the shit, and his mentality and the stance that he takes and his outlook on the world and the shit that he does. And participating in something like Maharishi is again, participating in the products of an ill-ass motherfucker. It's the same reason why I don't wear Supreme. And I don't buy anything that's Supreme. And I used to be Failure Video. The first Supreme that some of you niggas have ever seen was in that Failure Video. That hoodie was a fucking Supreme hoodie. Right? But I don't wear it because you get a crazy, and I love the people who run the stores. I love the dudes who do it, but I can't fuck with the niggas at the top. And I've seen niggas do shit to niggas that was real, real whack. And I was like, that's not cool. Like, you treat one of my homies. Actually, the story is, I was in Supreme in New York. Fuck with a nigga. I used to skate Supreme. I used to skate a Supreme deck. Like, if you ever see like photo shoots of me skating, that deck is the Peter Seville deck. Niggas like, man, you skating that deck? Like, fuck that. I'm skating this shit. This shit is fire. I had an 8-inch Supreme Peter Seville joint. And that's what I used to skate. So I used to skate Supreme. And went into the store in New York one day, and one of the homies, shout to Cola. Cola was the homie. But the niggas who work in the store, we vibing because it's like, it is what it is. Nigga, I'm walking in here, I don't give a fuck. I ain't no security. Fuck this, bro. We niggas who skate. It is what it is. And but that's just how they treated me. Right? When my homie went in there, when DJ Busy went in there, now the real Busy, so shout to Busy, man, they treated Busy like dog shit. Right? Treated him like dog shit. Right? And I couldn't fuck with that. I just couldn't. I was like, I can't have that. I don't like that energy. You know what I'm saying? And I got tons of Supreme. Not tons, but I got a bunch of old shit, right? And not even a bunch. I got a few pieces. I got some good pieces though. But I couldn't fuck with that. And I stopped wearing the shit. And I remember talking to the folks up at Supreme, and they was like, you know, what happened? Da 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 da. I was like, you know, I just felt like that was just a little, you know, it was a little fucked up. You know, and that's just, you go to any other store, niggas ain't treating niggas like shit like that. You know, and you don't really worry about it till it's one of your homies, and then it's your homie, and you like, damn, I don't want to wear that shit. You know, I don't want to wear that energy. The same way I talk about Nigo with Bape. Nigga, the first Bape I ever seen was on Nigo. Right? And it was just kind of like, damn, that shit is crazy. And Nigo, if you never met him, that nigga's a fucking, he just, like, he just one of them little dudes. He just, you know, got all my shit, come look at my collection, invite you into his shit, the whole shit. He's a G-ass nigga. To me. He might not be that to other motherfuckers. So it's a certain respect for the people who make the shit. Right? A certain respect for the energy and their whole team and that whole shit that you see the positivity or that good energy that flows down into niggas. So some of the shit that I talk about, yeah, some luxury shit, but I'm not buying it or fucking with it because of the luxury aspect of it. Again, I might not even be paying for the shit. Right? But it is, and that's the difference. Don't get it fucked up. Niggas ain't paying for that shit. Some niggas ain't paying for that shit, right? And some niggas ain't getting paid to wear it. Niggas is fucking with it because they love it. Right? So when you have that type of relationship, it's different. I don't care what it looks like. I'm wearing it because I fuck with that dude. You know, I fuck with the person that makes it. And if I gotta buy it, then I gotta buy it. I still fuck with that person. I wear Y3. I don't give a fuck about the head of Adidas and this, that, and the third. Nigga, I fuck with Y3 because of Yohji Yamamoto. Right? And I just can't wear Yohji because the shit is too crazy. But I'll wear the shit out of Y3 because that's me participating in somebody who I respect and adore and that shit like that. So it's different levels. And if you have that relationship with something, rock out. Nigga, spend $1 million on that shit if that's what it means. I'm not knocking you for that. But if you just getting some shit because another nigga told you to get some shit to be cool, it's a trap. Right? I can go through the due diligence of everything that I own and tell you why I have it. Right? Or why I fuck with it deeply. Not just because I'm wearing this shit because another nigga told me to wear it. And I can go through the shit that I have that another nigga told me to get that I'm just completely neutral to. Just give this, like it has no meaning, no nothing. So as you make that decision, again, back to the little homies with the guap that's finna make this move, buy the shit that means something to you. Let that be your purchasing decision. Shit that means something to you. No matter what it is. If it's a Ferrari, it's a Ferrari. If it's a Lambo, whatever the fuck it is. Just buy it because it actually means something to you. Don't buy it because you seen that shit in the video and you want to look cool like them niggas. Right? Buy Bentleys because you love the history of Bentley's racing, ba. Right? Don't just buy the shit because you're trying to be like Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't got to explain yourself about why you don't owe the nigga no explanation. But I'm just saying silently because I've been in your position and continue to be in your position. When you make that decision to buy something that's expensive. Or it ain't got to be expensive, my nigga. It could be fried rice. And the nigga looking at you like, nigga, you really tripping over $15? Nigga, just buy that motherfucking $15. Fuck them. Buy that shit because it means something to you, my nigga. Trust me, if it means something to you now and you really fuck with it, you're willing to deal with all of the bullshit that when the logos start falling off. When that shit shrink up on you and you that same fucking Saint Laurent t-shirt that you bought at the store, that shit fits you like a glove. Now that shit is fitting you like a motherfucking chokehold, right? You willing to look past that because it means something to you. Right? What you see is a lot of niggas, this shit don't mean shit to them. It's just they doing this shit to be flashy, to be a bigger person, to make them different from you. You know what I'm saying? So spend money. Don't feel bad about your purchases. Don't regret that shit, nigga. If you want it, buy it. But buy it because it means something to you. Because if you buy that shit and it don't mean nothing to you, you're going to be just like me. You're going to be just like me. You're going to be a nigga sitting around with motherfucking 18 samurai swords. And you're like, damn, I only really want 2. And I only use 1. The fuck was I thinking? Because the shit didn't mean anything. You should have waited until you found something that meant something to you. Just like, you know what? I'm fucking with this for the rest of my life. Right? And I can go on and on and on and on and on. And every single pocket and equation, every car, Land Rovers are garbage. Motherfucking. And I know I'm not getting a Land Rover deal. That's fine, man. Listen, I apologize, but I'm just keeping a whole $1,000 with you. Make better cars. Make cars where, the fucking tires. You don't go through 4 sets of tires in 6 months. Why are we doing this? Why are you doing that to us? Why? Right? Make a car that doesn't go through 4 sets of tires in a month, in 6 months. Please? Please? I only paid $100,000 for this bitch. Can you please make a car that doesn't break down all the fucking time? Where are you spending this money? This is from a nigga who's had every version of Land Rover. Only thing I haven't had is the Defender. Right? I've had everything else in one way or another. Freelanders, motherfucking LR3s, Range Rover Sports, all that shit. I've had all that shit. All that shit's terrible. Nigga, I don't even know. Does my gas hand work? Why am I on the side? I just bought this car. Why am I on the side of the road? And unable to start. Because I have a half a tank of gas. So what are we doing? Oh, you mean this gas hand doesn't work? So I'm really on empty. I really just ran out of gas right now. Okay, thanks, Land Rover. I appreciate that. This nigga, you ain't never finna get a Land Rover deal, bitch. That's cool, because I don't even want one of them motherfuckers. How about that? You couldn't even give me that motherfucker for free, nigga. I'm straight. Fuck you then too, but fuck you, Lupe. Fuck you too, nigga. But I still fuck with that. I still fuck with the way it looked, though. That is the truck of trucks, my nigga. Don't get it fucked up. What's the other piece, man? So yeah, man, just to reiterate, the little homies, man, buy something that means to you. Buy something that means to you. If them Travis Scott motherfucking Jordans 1700, they mean something to you, buy them motherfuckers, bro. Right? You fuck with that. You fuck with the homie's energy. You fuck with how he moves. You fuck with it. Get it. But if it don't mean nothing to you, you just getting that shit to impress this bitch or to put in your motherfucking video, don't buy that shit. That should be what determines your buying decisions. And it goes all the way from big shit to small shit. If you had a flea market and that shit costs 10 cents, my nigga, it costs literally 10 cents. And it's a steal. But if that shit don't mean nothing to you, leave that 10-cent shit right there on that table. Don't bring things into your life that don't mean anything to you. To you. Not to somebody else. To you. If it don't mean something to you, fuck everybody else. What do you think about Ye's attempts to address unfair contracts? I mean, newsflash, most niggas' contracts aren't unfair. That's one of the parts. One of the equations is some niggas are in fucked up spots. But some niggas have, here's the kicker, get ready, prepare yourself. This is from a nigga who has a label, who's been in the music business for 20 years. There's niggas sitting with fucked up contracts in amazing situations. There's niggas sitting with the greatest contract that lawyers have ever crafted in the history of contracts. that are in horrible situations. Let that soak. I rarely talk about music and the music business on this shit because it's, as much as niggas want to try and universalize what a good record deal is, none of these niggas know. The lawyers don't know. Nobody knows. Because each one is only comparable to what it is for that particular person in that particular situation. You got niggas that try and throw in metrics. And so what's the metrics of this? It's based on how many Instagram followers you have. And it's based on the standard rates of this and the standard rates of that. And blah, 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 blah. And that's a part of the math and the quantification of in there. But the quality of a deal, it's easy to calculate the quantity. That's easy. You don't even need a lawyer. Then why the fuck I need you? If it's just going off metrics and standards, this is what it is. The quantity of the deal is very easy. It's the quality of the fucking deal. And the quality of the deal is based on the person's specific situation. And again, it's some motherfuckers who are sitting with the best contract that Jesus' hand dipped in the goat's blood has ever occurred. And they're situate, you wouldn't trade, they situate, you wouldn't want to be in their shoes for the whole motherfucking world. And it's some niggas with the shittiest contracts you will ever see who are in fantastic situations. And some people don't know how to tell the difference because some people don't know what they really want. So they just go for a standard and they think that the standard is what they want. And it's not. The standard doesn't speak to the shit that you actually want. Right? Some niggas don't want shit. They don't even want a deal. But they feel like in order to make music, I got to have a deal. And they put themselves in a situation for the sake of, I don't know what the fuck, to prove that they are a musician or they have a career because they got this shitty fucking deal. Or they got this standard deal where they don't even care about the shit. And as much as a contract, you think that shit saves you. It don't. It don't. A contract is only as good as as the other side willing to abide by that bitch. And you have a great contract, but the nigga who you signing to is trash. So they got this great contract with the shittiest nigga on earth or the shittiest bitch on earth. Right? You got a great contract with a shitty nigga. The contract don't even mean shit. Because he not finna give you that shit no motherfucking way. He never had intentions. He or she never had intentions to give you, nigga, the publishing checks go to his house. You don't even know that you getting them bitches. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. But contractually, I'm supposed to get, nigga, say something else, I'ma kill your motherfucking ass. You ain't never been around no shit like that. Nigga pull a pistol on you in the studio, you start talking about the contract, nigga put a motherfucking pistol in your face. How good is that contract in, my nigga? What, you finna call the police? That's what the fuck you dealing with. What the fuck you think this is? Some of the first Al Capone and the Mafia started shit like RCA and shit like that, nigga. Well, not RCA, but recording contracts and shit was started by the mob. Because the black niggas who used to play in the club owners didn't want to pay them because they was niggas. And the mob, being Italians, who was the niggas of white people, had a certain sympathy and empathy to these niggas who was coming in who they fucked with. And these club owners didn't want to pay them. So these niggas signed them to protection rackets. That's what the fuck a deal is, nigga. That's the history of them shits. What the fuck you thought it was? So as much as nigga want to dance around talking about your contract need to be, it's like, man, you know. Flip side of that equation, you have a shitty deal. Super shitty. Nigga getting 100%. 100%. But you set for life. You with niggas that will kill for you. Literally. I'm with niggas that'll kill for me. They'll kill everybody on this motherfucking Instagram. You got niggas that will murder niggas for you. You ain't gotta worry about shit. What motherfucking dude tell 6ix9ine ass? You gotta feed the wolves, nigga. Some for you, some for the wolves. Don't matter about your deal, nigga. Cause what the fuck a nigga gonna do to you? A lawyer gonna come in and try and take a nigga trying to sue you for what? It's copyright infringement. Where these niggas live? You heard what I said? This nigga's trying to sue you for copyright infringement. The nigga with the great deal that you got is finna send you to court to lose everything. You finna lose everything. The nigga who you got the shitty contract with, he said, where do this nigga live? The trick part is, because niggas like, well, you threaten us. You ain't got to worry about them. You got to worry about me. You ain't got to worry about them niggas. You pull some shit with me, you got to worry about me. That's just the backup. Just in case you get me, just know these niggas finna come get you. But I'm going to come see you my motherfucking self. That's the difference. I don't put niggas in front of me to do shit that I wouldn't do my motherfucking self. So if you pulled up on me with the fuck shit, nigga, I'm going to pull up on you with the fuck shit because I'm a mirror. Right? So my niggas ain't got to worry about that shit. You got to worry about me. And then if you get through me, then you got to worry about them. It's just a chain of shit you got to worry about. That's all I bring to the table for fuck niggas. On the other side of that coin, I'm telling you that is niggas with great contracts in shitty situations. Bitches too. Great contract, but you got to suck this nigga dick and fuck every nigga that come through the house, and you got to do this and you got to do that, but your contract is fantastic. But you going crazy. And just because you got a contract, that don't mean that you finna control who's producing your shit, who's writing for your shit. But your contract is great, but you ain't got shit to do with your music. Nothing. You ain't got shit to do with your music. You didn't pay your lawyer 30 grand. Actually, the label paid your lawyer. Surprise, niggas. The label paid your lawyer 30 grand. So the incentive is more on your lawyer to do the bidding of the label than to do the bidding of you. Nigga, they paid your... You ain't got no control over the shit, over the own music that you make. Because contractually, they ain't got to put your shit out until they get what they want. Which ain't got shit to do with you. Bitch, you just a pretty face. And you got a nice voice and you popping right now. That's all we care about. We don't give a fuck about if you wrote this shit or not. We don't give a fuck about if that beat is historically accurate or not. We don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Just make sure that fucking sample cleared. And actually, we're going to indemnify ourselves from if that bitch ain't cleared anyway, so it's really on you. So we want you to have a production deal so you can be the safety net when these motherfucking lawsuits come. Because, yeah, we are going to get sued, but you sign this indemnification clause in your contract, which basically alleviates us from any responsibility to the shit. And we actually don't even give a fuck because, bitch, you ain't nothing but a drop in the bucket. Right? Niggas get on a label, a local label, man, these niggas, they da-da-da-da-da, then leave, nigga. You don't fuck with it, leave. But you know if you leave, them niggas know where you live. He right. Nigga, you ain't never got to pay for studio time. Never. Yeah, you worried about when your album supposed to come out. Nigga, alright, fuck it. Then go sign direct to a major and watch what happens. Your shit never coming out. Ever. You're a write-off, my nigga. You're a write-off. They finna give you a budget for fucking whatever, million, billions, and they finna write that shit off. And it doesn't matter if your shit come off or not, because they already got you tagged as a loss in the fucking balance sheet, my nigga. And it doesn't matter if your shit come out or not. I don't give no fuck how much your grandmother taught you how to sing and how your granddaddy taught you how to tap dance and your auntie taught you how to play the trumpet. Nigga, your shit's never coming out. Thug it out with us over here till we get this shit correct. Because the shit ain't as hot as you think it is. And I've had to tell artists that was signed to me. That shit's not as dope as you think it is. Nigga, you hating on me. Then yeah, I'm hating on you, bitch. This shit whack. Go back in the motherfucking studio. Because I actually care if this shit comes out, and I actually care if you actually make a successful career. That ain't got shit to do with me, nigga. I'm straight. It's your shit that I'm worried about. Because if you go to the label with this shit, you're never coming out. Ever. You'll be dropped at the end of the year, my nigga. Or you're going to put out a bunch of music that you ain't got shit to do with. So that when you do build your career off shit that you ain't got shit to do with, and they drop you, because you will get dropped. When you get dropped and you try and rebuild this shit from scratch, all of the fans that you have, they're not going to fuck with you after this because you had nothing to do with the music that made them fans of you in the first place. Nigga, we not a label. We not putting out albums every 6 months to meet some type of label structure. That's not how this shit works. They can do that because they have 1,000 artists. You not that. We not that. Nigga, if it take 10 years for you to put out one classic, then that's what the fuck it's finna take. If it takes 10 years for you to put out something that you fuck with as an artist, that satisfies your artistic shit, that allows you to tour for the rest of your life, not a summer. Put out some shit that you can tour and do for the rest of your fucking life. Nigga, so you can make, niggas don't laugh, nigga, so you can make 20 grand a month for the rest of your life. You know, you ain't got to work ever again. Now, I can make 20 grand. That ain't shit, nigga. I can make 20 grand. Yeah, you can make 20 grand a minute right now. Nigga, you pulling in them numbers right now. I used to pull in them numbers too, nigga. Back then. Everybody hits that moment where that phone goes like this. And the phone of the nigga who lives next door is going like this. Because he the new bitch. You the old pussy. They the new pussy. Instead of you focusing on longevity, you focus on your pussy. And you thought your pussy was going to be tight and elastic. Right? You thought it was just going to be this just tight and wet all the motherfucking time. Forgot that bitch dry up and stretches out like you rolling pizza dough at motherfucking Papa John's, nigga. Pussy wide than a bitch. You can run a whole horse through that motherfucker. And that's going to be you. So I hope that you putting yourself in a position when it comes to longevity. The label doesn't care about your fucking longevity. They care about what's happening right now. And they're trying to get you to think like right now. So that label that you with, that little indie label where you got your little fucked up contract because it ain't as good as this other nigga's contract, but the situation is about your long-term health and the business and you not going fucking crazy and fucking a bunch of hoes you shouldn't be fucking with and going to clubs where you getting that shot at and shit like that because these niggas is protecting you and keeping your mind, body, and spirit safe and making you go to church and do all kinds of other shit to keep you like you were before you came in this bitch. But they taking a little bit more because they're a little bit more invested in you as a whole person. Not you as just a fucking artist. Because you could easily be making nothing a month. And it's a bunch of niggas around here Bunch of rappers, producers, singers, dancers that make nothing a month. Them niggas got regular jobs. They make minimum wage a month. The best rappers you've ever heard. The best dancers you've ever seen. Singers, the notes, hitting note, best motherfucking guitar player you've ever seen. Can play this shit blindfolded. Makes nothing. Because niggas was chasing that dream. And was chasing that, I gotta have the best contract with the best thing, with the best that. As opposed to focusing on, no, you really need to be with the best people. At the end of the day, because money comes and goes. One lawsuit comes through here, wipe out all your gains. Period. All of them. One misstep on a sample. All your shit's gone. All of it. So don't just get caught up in the money side of these things. The money side and the contractual terms and shit like that. Because at the end of the day, you'll be around this bitch like Joe Budden. With the contract, with the this, with the that, with the this, with the that. To shitty people. You sign to shitty niggas. You sign to a company that pays niggas 0.00000000000 cents on a fucking dollar. And then you expect for these niggas to treat you any differently. Now we ain't shit. You telling us us artists how we ain't shit and we slaves and da-da-da. You turn right around signed to the same nigga who signed all of us behind our backs. We didn't even know we were signed to this motherfucker. Comes out and tells you, nigga, you got to put an album out. You can't do this. You put an album out every 2 years. Nigga, we didn't even invent to put an album out every 2 years. These motherfuckers will put an album out every 10 years. Motherfuckers put out one album, but you got writers who write one book their whole life. Everybody ain't no virtuoso motherfucker. This the same nigga telling you, you can't just have the old formula we put out. You need to put out a song every month. You need to put an EP out all the time. Like, nigga, you don't even make music. What the fuck are you talking about? So, when I start lying, or I start not telling the truth, send them niggas to my house. I'll take my blood. Here it is, take my blood. You want my blood? Take my blood. Tell me what movie that's from. You get 2 points. What's the wildest thing you've ever seen hanging out with billionaires? The wildest thing I've ever done with billionaires is eating fried chicken in an empty Mar-a-Lago. So I've been to Mar-a-Lago while Trump has been president. And I've ate fried chicken on the patio, damn near empty. Like it was a ghost town in that bitch with one of the richest niggas in the world. It was the funniest shit ever. Got pictures too. That's probably the wild. I've done other shit, but I'm not put my friends on blast. But that's like one of the crazy stories. It's like, yo, y'all want to go to Mar-a-Lago? It's like, abso-fucking-lutely. But it was a dress code, so you need a shirt. Like you can't just go in that bitch rocking t-shirts. So I had to, this homie had to go in his closet, get me one of his shirts, big than a motherfucker. I'm in this big ass shirt in Mar-a-Lago, eating fried chicken. The whole staff just standing around. The shit was wild. Was it good? Yeah, the shit was fire. I ain't gonna front. The chicken was fire. I had mad shit too. I was like, yo, let me get the chicken. Cause what it is, it's a club. So you have a you get like a I don't know if it's a stipend or something like that. You know, like you get a budget for like food, right? Because it's super expensive to become a member and shit, right? But you get it, and you can't go unless you're a member, right? And to be a member is like super thing. But the thing with Palm Beach is a lot of those clubs that are on Palm Beach are and Palm Beach is Billionaires Row, right? But a lot of the clubs that are in Palm, this is in Florida, for y'all don't know, Palm Beach, Florida. The clubs that are in Palm Beach, literally the tennis club, the golf club, whatever they're still like segregated, right? So like Jews can't go to this club, right? And Christians can't, because the Christians wouldn't let the fucking Jews into their club. The Jews started their own club, and the Jews like, nobody can come to our club now, like, right? It's only Jews, right? And then it's and it's like the thing with Trump is Trump lets anybody into his club, right? So Saudis, niggas, you know, Jews, black, the criminals, the whole, whoever the fuck, right? He lets anybody in his clubs, which is, I guess, kind of democratic about this bitch ass nigga. But that's kind of the piece. So anybody can kind of get into Mar-a-Lago as long as you got the money. Asians, shit like that. It's clubs down there with, like, if you're Chinese, they not letting you in that motherfucker, right? Shit like that. So, well, I don't know if that's the total case. And I think one of the clubs actually let in its first, like, black people. But the shit's, it's like, they only do it so people don't complain, right? Like, we'll let in a nigga every 10 years or some shit like that. But really, you know, even the niggas know we don't fuck with y'all. So when you become a part of this club, you get, like, you know, benefits and shit like that. One of the things is food. So you get like a food stipend or like a food budget that you got to use. You know, I don't know if you got to use it within a period of time or whatever, but, you know, you have like money to use. So they had a food stipend, like a food budget. And so they was like, yo, let's just go there and eat lunch because, you know, we've already paid for the shit. Let's just go there and eat instead of going somewhere else. So he's like, I want to go to Mar-a-Lago. And it's like, hell fucking yeah, I want to go. So we went, had fried chicken. Shit was cool. Where else? Do you think there are some good and bad business and ideals being brought to light? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're referring to. I apologize. Do you have your masters, Lupe? Some of them. Some of them I don't. Here's the kicker. Nigga, you got masters to songs that you don't own. Like, you still got to pay niggas for the, like, it's a somewhat of a base misunderstanding of how the music business works. And I take it from Leo. It's the same way I can learn, see the good side of shit. I always look at all sides of the story. So Leo, when I asked Leo for my masters as a response to negotiations for a 360 deal, I said, I'll do a 360 deal, but I want my masters. And Leo was like, well, what, you want them in a suitcase? He said, you want them like in a briefcase to carry around? I was like, you a whole bitch out here, Leo. But I get it. I hear what you're saying, right? Master's only as good as what you're going to do with the shit. If the master has value. If a master don't have any value, then what the fuck? Like, what you going to do with that shit? Just say you own them? But if you don't have anybody working it, that's why you got a bunch of niggas selling their catalogs right now, right? So you got this one, I forgot this motherfucker's name. He just going around buying up niggas' catalogs. And what does that mean? It's because these niggas don't know what to do with the shit. Or they've ran out of room, of headspace. Or they just don't want to deal with the shit no more. You got to work that shit. Michael Jackson's, their shit is, because Michael Jackson owns the publishing to a bunch of nigga shit. But it's only as good as your ability to work it, right? Like, to get it placed in movies, to get it placed in shit, and then hunt down all of the places where people are actually using the shit and owe you for it. So like infringements and shit like that. If you ain't got a team set up to go get that shit, it don't matter how many masters you own, because you don't. I think they found some death row masters. Them shits was sitting in a fucking when they auctioned off all the Suge Knight shit or something like that. They was finding like death row masters and like fucking storage bins in Cali somewhere. So it's only as good as your ability to use it. And if you don't know how to use it, or don't know how to play that game, then that shit's worthless. You know? As much as niggas try and put on like, oh, my masters mean everything. Like, nigga, if you don't know how to generate the money or capitalize on those masters don't mean shit. And the people who do know how to do it, they ain't finna do nothing but turn around and charge you to actually do the work to do it. So you're gonna be right back at some other shit. Right? So just because you're a musician, that don't mean that you have the charisma to go sign deals to capitalize on your music. And that's true. That's the thing that was the lesson that I had to force myself to learn from this fucking with Lior, is that piece. Like, do you actually have, that's the way I took it, you know, because niggas think I'm stupid. So I just sit there and play stupid. Like, yeah, you're right. I don't know if I'm going to put it in a suitcase, Leo. Maybe I'll carry it in a sack. Maybe I'll put it in a backpack. I don't know. Maybe a JanSport, nice little JanSport situation. I play dumb. But the real lesson that I learned was, okay, if you don't have the back office to actually use this shit, then what good is it for? So you turn around and say, okay, do I have the situation or the circumstances to actually take masters, whether they my own masters or somebody else's masters, and actually make them accrue value, have them generate value. Some niggas ain't got that shit. Some people don't know how to do that shit, and they never will, right? So you'd be better off just letting a nigga just take your shit and make money off the shit, because what you gonna make 100% of, you gonna have 100% of nothing? That don't make no fucking sense. Or are you willing to take 10% of, you know, 10%, you know what I'm saying? Niggas say you get 100% of nothing. Would you take 10% of 100%? It's like, yeah, give me that 10%. If my only option is zero, but we not doing shit with it, okay, cool. So those are the decisions that you got to make. The other side of that equation is that there's certain songs where you don't get anything. The only thing that you'll get is your performance shit, right? But you don't get any publishing play. The master don't mean shit because you're not getting any publishing. Like for me with Daydream is, I don't get shit from that song. So it's really just, what I got from it was the prestige of a Grammy, all of the ability. So now you have to say, I can contractually make a motherfucker say Grammy Award winning artist Lupe Fiasco, the same way you say Grammy Award winning artist Jay-Z or Grammy Award. That shit means something. So bitch, I got it. Let's roll. But I don't get no publishing from that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and when I say performance, I mean when you go out and you perform is what I mean. I'm not talking about some super technical publishing company rhetoric. I'm talking about like you can get paid if you go perform that song, and you have the rights to get money from performing the song if you went and did a show. It ain't like motherfuckers like, you can't even perform that bitch. Because niggas will say that. Like, yo, even if you can make the song, but you can't perform it. And if you do perform it, I'm going to need XYZ from it. Right? So at least motherfuckers ain't breathing down your neck to get your show checks and shit like that. But now niggas probably are. The labels definitely are. So they're taking 30% of niggas shows. So yeah, we want you to do $1 million a show versus the nigga who ain't got a 360 deal with. So we're gonna put all the juice behind this bitch because we're getting 30% of this nigga's show. So, but it becomes like, are you willing to make that deal? And do you understand that there's other elements around that you're going to profit off of versus just having all this shit? Because you got a bunch of niggas who own their masters, but they're not making no money. You have all your masters, you can own all your shit, but you're not making no fucking money because nobody's doing it. With that said, I do own my masters now. So everything that I've done since Sofa Drogas Wave and fucking everything off of Atlantic do. But then there's also a 10-year period where you actually get your masters back because they feel like it gives the label 10 years. They can't own the shit for perpetuity forever, right? And part of that is if they're not finna use it, you know what I'm saying? Like we've made legacy records, so we have Superstar, we have Kick Push. Much motherfuckers want to hate on Lupe. Like, nigga, I have joints that I can just like, yep, the kids love Superstar. Let's go. So I don't give a fuck what you think. Like, nigga, it ain't even lyrical though. And what's his face is a better rapper than you. Be like, yeah, but this nigga ain't got this though. Like, you right. Like, I know I'm right. So when you got certain songs, and you know, people are going to find ways to kind of maintain that, right? So that's why you see Atlantic dropping Rhino dropping vinyl for food and liquor and shit. And it's like, because it's joints on there, right? It's joints on the cool, and so you still have a certain legacy value to your piece. So you got motherfuckers who ain't got that, and it becomes you just sitting on some shit that's 15, 20 years old. It's not generating anything. You can have that shit back. Good luck. The label feels like, we're gonna give us a 10-year window to profit off of this shit and work it, and we'll actually work it. And hopefully you got to relate. Hopefully, even with my relationship with Atlantic being so fucked up and being all shitty, I've made Atlantic Records a lot of money, right? And also a lot of prestige and shit. Like, I've brought Grammys into the building. That means something, right? You bring platinum plaques into the building. That means something. That shit just ain't like, oh, whatever, fuck that nigga. So there's value to be had. And one of the things, and you can talk to people who are at the label, they'll tell you, like, one of the things that was fucked up is we had this great music. You had an album like Tetsuo and Youth, which is fucking awesome, that niggas didn't want to promote. And for them on some music shit, fuck some business shit, fuck that. But even on some business shit, it's like, man, we got the ability. You got a guy here who may not make big ass hit records all the time, but he does, and he has the potential to do that. But this dude is making really solid Grammy winning worth like shit, like cultural shit that will be here for 15 years. Right? This nigga put out a song in 2007 that is relevant to the fucking pandemic in 2020. Niggas just don't randomly do that. That's not to big myself up, but that's just the way this shit works. So you got people who like, man, we could be doing so much more with this shit, but because of this beef with the executives and they putting the clamps on shit, it's a wrap. So you got to think about that as well. Hopefully your relationship with the label is as such that you've made people are willing to overcome their bullshit, like me, willing to overcome that shit to be like, look, for the greater good, we got great shit. Everybody's going to profit. We hate each other, but let's keep it moving. That's another way that you can have a very shitty contract, but in a great situation, right? Because you got a back office and a team that's going to make you more money than you would ever make, even if you had the best contract in the world. So that's that part. But yes, I do have my masters for everything going forward since Drogas Wave. The Drogas Light, Drogas Wave, all that shit. But again, it's only as good as our ability to make money off the shit. Is that enough? Have we done enough? What are your thoughts on awards? Man, we don't talk about music here. But just in general, I mean, it's marketing. That's really all it is. It's marketing. There's some awards, but it depends on the award. So there's certain awards that really are presented and given by masters in that field, in that craft, like a mixing award or some shit. Like, even though mixing is somewhat subjective, but there is a way to kind of partial it out to understand, like, when an album has been engineered incredibly versus an album that's been engineered with all type of frequencies and bullshit that don't need to be there. And when people give it like technical awards, that's different versus just giving somebody like best actor, you know what I'm saying? Best rapper, you know what I'm saying? Best lyricist, right? That shit is more marketing than it is anything else. It's marketing for the organization that's promoting it. It's marketing for the artist. It's a win-win kind of a situation if you win, or even if you get nominated for some awards, that's enough. But as it speaks to the art, when it's outside of a technical space, it don't mean shit, because the niggas who voting for it is all kinds of motherfuckers. Like, you got niggas who, if you look at the people who are actually on the nominations, I can nominate niggas for Grammys. Like, it's a range of motherfuckers. As long as you got a certain relationship to the music business, you can vote for niggas at the Grammys. And everybody's not voting off of their, and you can game votes. Like, you can like actually pander to people who to get them to vote your way. Because like, what the fuck? Like, it's either me or Ludacris. And it's me, baby. Vote for me. And Ludacris like, but it's me, it's Ludacris, baby. You know how it goes. I'm in the streets. Like, that's how I lost to Ludacris for fucking Kick Push, to fucking Moneymaker, a song that niggas ain't even never heard before. I was like, how's this possible? How did Kick Push lose to that shit? I was so like, damn. But I love Luda. But I don't see how Kick Push didn't win Best Rap Song that year. Period. But who we lost to, I was like, come on, man. We lost to fucking Moneymaker. Shake your money maker and the didn't want to take it to the money. Say, hey, hey, hey. Like, are you serious? So anyway. I was perturbed. But with that said, I did get to sit next to Radiohead, which was like, Radiohead! Oh my God! I think it was that year. I think that's the year we lost. I think it was 06 or 07. But I got to sit next to Radiohead. Because I was in the audience, nigga. I was getting awards that were like, I might go up on stage. Like, yeah, what's up, y'all? I just want to thank my mama. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank my daddy. I want to thank Tupac for teaching me everything I know. I'd have been one of them niggas. But I think I was sitting right next to like Radiohead and shit. And I was like, when y'all going on tour? I'm such a fan. Let's do like a couple more. Then I'm gonna have breakfast. Okay. Thoughts on the peace deal between Israel and Bahrain and the UAE is bullshit. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Israel, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates are not at war. If they're not at war, how the fuck do you sign a peace deal with people that are not at war? It's smoke. It's all smoke. Right? That's just off top for the general, like they at war? Like, no, don't sign peace deals with motherfuckers who fight each other. Like, shouldn't the Taliban and the Afghanistan government be signing a peace deal? Because them niggas is actually blowing up each other's hospitals and shit. Like, is that what we talking about? That seems like war to me. Shouldn't there be a peace deal between, like, you know, the different factions in Libya and they're blowing up each other's hospitals and shit? Like, shouldn't them niggas be the ones that are signing the peace deal? Like, what the fuck? Right? Shouldn't Israel and Iran be signing a fucking peace deal? Like, should them niggas is the ones that's at war? Like, Iran-Israel peace deal. That would be the shit. Or what about those Gazans? You know, the people that live in the same country that these motherfuckers live, that they're actually actively fighting. Shouldn't that be a peace deal? Because if it was a peace deal that was going to be signed, wouldn't that mean that the Israeli government and the Gazans wouldn't be dropping bombs on each other right now? Or the Gazans sending fire balloons and the Israeli army responding with fucking bombs and shit? Like, ain't that peace? How is it a peace deal and these niggas are still fighting? That makes no fucking sense. The other side of that coin is, how is it a peace deal when the only reason that the motherfucking UAE signed the deal was if you had gave them fighter jets? You know, weapons. Ain't a peace deal supposed to be about de-escalation and disarmament and actually like taking weapons away from motherfuckers? How is it a peace deal when the one side only signed the bitch if they had the ability to buy jets? It's not a peace deal. What it is a normalization of relations. That's not peace, bitch. That's a normalization of relations. Peace is when you have two motherfuckers fighting and you're trying to get them to stop fighting. That's peace. Normalization of relations is Israelis want to fly to the UAE, which they can, right? It ain't like, no, you from Israel, you can't fly to the fucking UAE. There's no way. You mean to tell me it ain't no Israelis in the UAE? An Israeli has never been to Dubai? Israelis have never been to Dubai. Is this what the fuck we saying right now? A Jewish person has never been to Dubai. So if you have a normalization of relations, does that mean that Emiratis can now fly into Tel Aviv? that those countries, Arabs, can fly into Tel Aviv? Could they not fly into Tel Aviv before? What the fuck are we talking about? Right? So anything that Trump's do is anything that Trump does to a degree when it comes to the Middle East is horseshit. I'm gonna just say that off top. Is horseshit. How are you signing a peace deal? How are you calling it a peace deal when nobody was actually fighting? Okay, if it's a normalization of relations, what are you normalizing? Like, what does that mean? That niggas from Dubai can fly to Israel now? We don't give a fuck about that. The world don't give a fuck about that. That now Emiratis can fly into Tel Aviv. We don't give a fuck about that. We don't care that Israelis can fly into Bahrain now, Doha now. We don't give a fuck about that shit, man. Nobody cares about that. Y'all the ones who set the shit up on yourself alone, right? But at one point, the motherfucker couldn't, because it was like, if a Jew come through this motherfucking airport, we blowing this whole bitch up. Because y'all niggas are at war. Right? The Middle East don't fuck with Israel because you're at war with the Palestinians. That's why the shit's not normal, and they don't want shit to seem normal, because you can't normalize things when you're still actively at war. Right? You're still participating in an active apartheid and an active humanitarian blockade, which only fucks up your shit. The shit's bad for you. So yes, you don't want to have Gazans to have electricity. Fine. We don't know how to, we can't process our sewage. So we just finna dump this shit into the fucking sea. The sea that's connected to your shit. So now all of the shit that's coming from Gaza is washing up on your beaches. So if you would just give us electricity to process our sewage, we wouldn't have this motherfucking problem. Makes sense, don't it? That make dollars. So I hope people don't get confused about this or what it's supposed to be, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or anarchist. Just look at the facts of what this situation is on the ground. The niggas who don't fuck with Israel for a reason. And the people that Israel don't fuck with them for a reason. The niggas was blowing up shit. They taking niggas hostage and doing all kinds of goofy shit to each other. But between these two countries, it really ain't got shit to do with us. Niggas tie in because of some religious shit. But China don't give a fuck about that shit, man. Like, people don't care about that shit. Like, we're forced to care from a religious standpoint, but geopolitically, niggas don't care about that shit, man. Whether Emiratis can fly into Israel or not, or you can trade now, niggas don't give a fuck about that shit. The amount of trade that you're doing is so small compared to what's going on in the world. And again, because niggas know it's not like a peace deal, and even this normalization of relations, it was only a way to get to sell these niggas jets. Right? And you better believe the Israelis is getting something back from it too. And it's just like, yeah, well, now y'all can do X, Y, Z. Right? But also turn a blind eye while we still annex these niggas shit. Like, we're still going to take these niggas shit though. Like, but just leave us alone. Okay? And they're like, yeah, fuck the Palestinians. Like, we don't really give a fuck about them no way. Like, if we really cared, we'd just move them niggas to Dubai. Because, we got all this space. Got all this space out here, all this just desert that we could turn into skyscraper land. So, but fuck them, I guess. It's going to be hella Jewish investments, development in Emirates and Bahrain. Heck no, it's not. Why? Why would you move that shit from Israel to Bahrain? Why would you move one of the only things that you have going in terms of because the tech industry in Israel is crazy. But why would you move that to fucking Dubai? How does that make any sense? For money, what money? Cheaper labor? What are you talking about? Dubai still got slaves. Like, them motherfuckers still building them fucking skyscrapers with fucking slaves from India. Like, what are we talking about? Like, is that really what's going to happen? Anyway, I don't mean to come down on you that bad. I apologize. I really apologize. But yes, there's no reason for Israel to move one of its core industries to another country that employs and gives them an advantage in the world. They're not finna just leave and move that shit to a whole nother part of the world that they have no footing in and put themselves under the jurisdiction of the Emirati government. They're not finna do that shit. That don't make no sense. So at the end of the day, it becomes, well, what is Israel's benefit from this peace? I mean, it could be, to be honest, it could be some money shit. It could be some money laundering shit. Like literally, Dubai is looked at as a financial industry, a financial entity. That's where they make their money, off top of the oil shit. But their financial shit, and it may be that these niggas gonna cook the books for them, and it's a way for them to do hide some money or some shit like that. Like, trust me, somebody somewhere is part of this, and understand this, everybody who's a part of this deal is somewhat corrupt. The Emirati government ain't the most non-corrupt, beautiful, most pious Muslim motherfucking shit ever. It's not, right? So all the players, and then the only reason that motherfucker signed, again, the only reason people signed this shit was they had access to buy these jets, right? So now they could buy these jets to do what with? Like, who the fuck you finna bomb, right? The other side of that equation is that Netanyahu ain't shit. Like, the Likud party is so fucking corrupt. And it becomes like, and then Trump. You know, we see what Trump is, and Kushner. These motherfuckers are some of the dirtiest crooked motherfuckers on the planet. So you got all three crooked parties coming together. Only one motherfucker signing because he gets some guns, basically. So what are you signing for? You already don't respect what the world says. Like, you really don't give a fuck, and nobody's gonna do nothing to you because America's protecting you. So none of these Arab countries are gonna do shit to you. Iran's not gonna do shit to you. You ain't worried about Gaza sending balloons full of propane across the fucking border. You don't give a fuck about that shit. You're pretending like you fucking care, or it's really a threat. And ain't no Israeli soldier sitting like, that balloon is another balloon. We're gonna die. They ain't think about that shit. And so it becomes like, well, what are you benefiting from? Like, what's the gain? At the end of the day, it's money. And for me, it's okay. Does that mean that you get Israeli money now gets access to the financial markets or the financial systems in Dubai? And what does that mean? Right? Maybe you're able to buy real estate there or in Bahrain or some shit like that. But these countries are still fucked. Like, that's just my piece. Let's do one more. So I think that this is going to be my controversial statement of the day. I think of the day, nigga. Have you heard yourself the past hour and a half? You've been wilding. I believe that at the base it's some money laundering shit. I think it's for some Israelis, top end motherfuckers who trying to park their money outside of the country, right? Because there's some internal shit happening in Israel, where all the motherfuckers who in power right now, give it a couple years, Israel is going to turn them motherfuckers over. And I think you're seeing that. Like, people, this Palestinian shit, this whole the world is against the Jews shit, like, that shit's starting to wear thin. And motherfuckers is really having to take a look at their current situation and their circumstances and realizing, like, that's not enough to galvanize, mobilize the people. The same shit's going to happen in China. Right? People aren't for this shit no more, and they're going to expect a turnover, and those motherfuckers that are in power right now are going to be looked at as like motherfucking, how you look at some of these African countries overthrowing these niggas that been in power for 20, 30 motherfucking years, and found out these niggas got, I think the dude in Sudan had like $100 million in cash just sitting at the crib. $100 million in cash just sitting at the crib. When that nigga left Yemen, or when the Shah of Iran left Iran, the nigga had cargo jets full of cash and gold and shit leaving the country. I think it's a way for these niggas expecting, is almost as a security thing, where they like, look, we're gonna give y'all some jets, but you need to take our money and hold it. Because if shit hits the fan, these niggas is gonna come for us. And when we flee this bitch, or we need to exile, we need to make sure that our money is so lost in the system. Because that's what money laundering is. Basically, like, just lose the money and then, we found it at the other side, but we don't know whose money it is. Whose could it be? I have no idea. So when these niggas abscond, when they get forced out of their motherfucking positions of power, they got this place as a back end to wash their dirty money. That's what the fuck I think it is. A lot of people get nominated for Nobel Prizes. Don't get it fucked up. A lot of people get nominated for Nobel Prizes. A lot of motherfuckers don't win either. So just to be nominated for some shit, that don't mean the fuck you gonna win. It's a bunch of niggas who sitting around who are Nobel Prize nominees, and you don't give a fuck about none of them niggas. You probably didn't even know that that was the case until right now, that there's a bunch of motherfuckers who don't win. And it's actually a part of the game. Like, yeah, so we're gonna nominate such and such, but we're not gonna give it to them. No, we're just gonna nominate them. You know what I'm saying? For the politics. Because all you gotta do is pay. Like for a Guinness World Record, you can pay for that shit. What? What you mean? What are you talking about? Like, yeah, it's a for-profit organization. What the fuck you think that shit was? What? This is crazy. I could pay. You mean I could pay for that shit? Nigga, you pay for any motherfucking thing. You pay for a Grammy if you wanted to. Like, nigga, what? What the fuck? This is crazy. This is insane. You mean I could pay to get a Nobel? I mean, you grease the right motherfucking pocket, my nigga, to get a nomination. That don't mean they're gonna give you that shit, but they'll definitely put you on the books to nominate you. Like, damn, man, what the fuck? The world is a lie. The whole world is a lie. Is there any truth left in the world? Is there any truth? Is there any truth left in the world? A little bit here and there, sprinkled around. Let's end on a good note, shall we? Let's find a good one, man, and end on some happy shit. How about that? I'm gonna find a good one. Yeah, let's do this one, man. Can you teach me how to use? Can you show me how to use a sword? I can actually. I actually can show you how to use a sword. And if enough people want to learn at least some of the basics of the katana or swords in general, I may be willing to spread some of that knowledge. For a long time, I was just about only teaching my family and close friends who were really interested, because it is a process, but it isn't a crazy process. You're just swinging something sharp, right? That's basically what the fuck you're doing. But there's more to it. There's layers and levels, and it's more. There's more shit that has nothing to do with, well, not nothing to do with the sword. There's a bunch more shit that is connected to the sword, but doesn't require you using a sword to learn certain lessons, which are a part of Iaido and Japanese martial arts. That have nothing to do with fighting and holding the sword. It's all these other reminders and shit like that. So if enough people are interested, if enough people hit me in the DMs and they will want me to teach them and show them and get a little bit more detailed into what this thing is that I love. I've been doing this since I was a baby. Literally since I was a baby. Like literally since I was a baby, I've been doing Iaido and Kenjutsu in some way, shape, or form. It's not, you go to Japan, it's the same shit. You see a little young ass kid with a sword hacking, chopping, and slicing. So if enough people are interested, man, I'm definitely down. I've actually gave a couple people pointers in the DMs who are interested, and if you're interested, I can at least set you off with the basics. There's definitely more schools that are focused and developed on it, and I can maybe even give you some guidance into those types of schools that exist or associations where if you really want to learn the shit like to a T, and pretend like you're Japanese all day, I definitely can give you at least some links to go fuck with them. But if you're just interested in some of the basics and some of the stuff that we teach, some of the things that I learned through my father and through my studies, I'm definitely willing to share that with a few folks if you're down, right? I'm gonna ask a lot of you to prove that you really want to do it. But if you really want to do it, I'll definitely be there to help you out, But that part. So that's it, man. House EP, myself and Kaylin Ellis, featuring Virgil Abloh, Crystal Torres, and Graham Burris. Available right now on Tidal and Apple Music, so go get that. Also on Spotify, so go get that. And coronavirus is still a thing. Make sure that you're practicing physical distancing. Make sure you wear a mask that covers the mouth and the nose. Condolences to the folks who passed during this time. Coronavirus is still a thing. Make sure that you're practicing physical distancing. Make sure you wear a mask that covers the mouth and the nose. Condolences to the folks. Coronavirus is still a thing. Make sure you wear a mask that covers blah, blah, blah. Coronavirus is still a thing. Make sure that you're practicing physical distancing. Make sure you wear a mask that covers the mouth and the nose. Condolences to the folks who passed during this time. Our condolences, blah, blah, blah. Coronavirus is still a thing. Make sure that you're practicing physical distancing. Coronavirus is still a thing. Make sure I have OCD. So the reason I'm doing this over and over again, because if I mess up on one little word, I got to start over. So you're seeing Lupe Fiasco's OCD at work right now, but it's good OCD to kind of drill into your fucking head that coronavirus is still a thing. Make sure that you're practicing physical distancing. Make sure you wear a mask that covers the mouth and the nose. Condolences to the folks who've passed during this time. Our prayers are with you and your family. If you're sick, hope you're on the road to recovery and doing better. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people with COVID-19, but fortunately, there's a lot of people who came out the other side of COVID-19 and have a story to tell and lessons to be learned and passed on. So if you are one of those folks who have went through COVID-19, have experienced it, whether it's mild or you were in the fucking hospital getting your last rites, and you came back from the brink and you're probably even still experiencing symptoms and stuff like that, share your story. You never know who could. It's basic. It's very simple. Right now, you're the expert when it comes to COVID-19, and there's somebody out there who's probably just like you, going through the same circumstances, who does not know what the fuck is going on. And maybe your story could kind of highlight some things or point them in the right direction in terms of treatments, off-the-shelf stuff, things like that, or what they can prepare themselves for, what they should be doing and should not be doing, because you have that experience. So share that story, whether you share it anonymously or you share it with close friends, or you get on a stage and go crazy and start tweeting like a fucking madman or mad woman. Share your story. You never know how it's going to help someone or improve someone's situation. And on that note, peace. And much love to you.